everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, you already know I ask you to do it every single time. Why? Because we are building a tribe, we are building a community, and I know you're going to want to be a part of it. You know why? Because it's the best. We have the best people, we have the best conversations, we have the best. So if you don't believe me, go in the comments, talk to somebody, chit chat, get involved with the conversation, the topic of the day. And then, if you want to be a part of this community, which I know you will, go down here in these settings, look around, find that subscribe button, and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit your notification bell too, so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis, the beast, the algorithm. Whew, child. Do we have to talk about it? We'll talk about it later. Also, I just want to thank all of the readers who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. It means everything. It helps so very much. And I know it's not easy, but just deciding to help the channel that way means everything. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, right about here, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative to have that support. Also, if you just want to do a one-time donation, Super Thanks button is right over there. And all donations to the channel is always, always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, I do have some shout outs. I want to shout out Angela May. Angela, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the super thanks. And just thank you for becoming a ride or die. You are always in here supporting. And let me tell you, I appreciate it. It means so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are everything. Also, I want to shout out 2383521E. Yes, 238-238-3521E. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the super thanks. Thank you for being so generous and kind and just deciding to support the channel. It means everything. So thank you, thank you, thank you for the generous super thanks, and just thank you for being a part of our community. It means everything. Also, I want to shout out Darlene Redreas. I hope I got that right. Sometime I mingle up the names, but yes, Darlene has been with me for a while, and she is a ride or die. She is such a faithful supporter of the channel, and I'm so lucky, lucky, lucky to have her. So thank you, Darlene. Thank you for the super thanks, and just thank you for being a part of this community. It makes it so much better when you're here. All right, y'all. With all that said, let's get to the read. Now, I cannot say we got a lot. These streets are getting a little quiet here lately. You know, it's one topic that's still raging like the California wildfires on these internet streets. But y'all know what I said. I'm not going to throw a log on that fire. I am going to move forward. I'm going to look forward to Meghan's speech tomorrow. And I was looking forward to her podcast today, and it was so good. It was. And so we're going to talk about that. And so yeah, I'm still in the mindset of not, throwing any logs on that fire. So that's mostly what the squatters are talking about. Yeah, they're talking about that, and they're talking about Meghan's podcast. They're talking about all these taste tests they're doing of Meghan's products. I have never heard of such. I mean, from the likes of Vanity Fair to the Washington Post. And we talked about how the Telegraph did one. When did this start happening? When someone puts a product out, all these taste tests, it is crazy to me. But it's good because Megan's products are just really, really knocking it out of the park. Everybody is choosing, the product, the taste test is really, really going her way. But my whole thing is, why are they necessary? Why? Why does everything has to be different when it comes to Megan? So sick of it, so tired of it. But I guess you can look at it as free advertisement. And you can't buy this kind of advertisement because boy, they are giving it to Megan in spades, aren't they? So hopefully she'll get all her stuff back in stock and they'll sell out again because of all this free advertisement. But yes, they're talking about that. So we have a few things to talk about. So the read is not going to be super, super long. We're looking forward to Megan's speech tomorrow. Yes, and then after that, it will be Prince Harry's turn at the Living Legends of Aviation. Yes, we're looking forward to all of that. Cannot wait. So I'm gonna put this up, and this right here is who was Megan's guest at her third podcast, and that would be Katie Lee. Yes, her friend Katie Lee, who she is also Megan's business partner with her business. I forgot the name of it, but we'll get to it later on. But it's something hippie, but it is absolutely great. And I'm telling you, their conversation was so great and so nostalgic. It touched on some of the things that we talked about during Easter time. It did. But let's get into it. I'm going to put this up. It says this week's episode of the Confessions of a Female Founder with Meghan and guest Katie Lee was truly enjoyable. The discussion was engaging and I found myself laughing out loud. Don't miss out. Give it a listen. You won't be disappointed. It is good. It is really, really good. Excuse me, y'all. I'm itching for some reason. But yes, it is so, 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 so good. So if you haven't went over there and watched, please, it's on Lemonada, it's on Apple, and if you have to, listen to it on Spotify. But y'all know how we feel about Spotify. You know how the squatters give Spotify the side eye. But if that's your only choice, do it there. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is to run the numbers up. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this up because this is what we were talking about at Easter, and this was one of the topics that Meghan had in her podcast. Her and Katie Lee was talking about this, and this particular squatty posted that and said Meghan talking about the flat iron hair straightener. Well, we call it a straightening a straightening comb. Yes, and Megan know it well because I'm sure at Easter time she was holding her ears like we, all of us Black Americans, know how it feels to have to get up and have. Well, they usually do it the night before, and you get your hair washed and you get it pressed and you get your rollers put in your hair, those pink ones. We talked about it for Easter. And yes, this is exactly what Meghan and Katie Lee was talking about. And this particular squatty said, laugh my A off. I was wondering what Meghan was talking about. Now I know. Yes, yes, yes. And they say Meghan is not black. That's the blackest thing you can do is to have a straightening comb. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So they can just stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. That's all I'm saying. Because Meghan said she used to straighten, well, her mom, and I'm sure her grandmother used to straighten her hair with a straightening comb. Like I said, that's what we called it. We didn't call it a flat iron hair straightener. We call it a straightening comb. Yes, and you had to put it on the burners of the stove, heat it up, and then run it through your hair and it would straighten your hair. It would relax your curls. So that is what Meghan was talking about. Yes, I can relate, and I'm sure a lot of you out there can relate because we just talked about it, like I said, for Easter. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And this particular squatter that posted it said this: Confession of a Female Founder, Episode 3, Building Your Brand Brick by Brick, and Highbrow Hippie. That's the name of her product line, Highbrow Hippie. Katie Lee. Listen wherever you get your podcast. It's the most insightful and inspirational. Yes, it's really good. So scurry on over there, y'all. Scurry on over. All right, y'all. I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty said this about this podcast because they discussed this on the podcast as well. It says, I love how Archie and Lily loves Auntie Katie. The babies have a lot of aunties and uncles that love them. All of these Meghan friends see Harry and Meghan's children, but none of them have ever leaked or sold pictures to the UK media. I have so much respect for Harry and Meghan's inner circle. No hate, BS, or clout chasing. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? Meghan's inner circle is very protective of her and her family. Some of Meghan's friends she has had since she was in college, in high school. Meghan, they want to say that she doesn't have friends, she cuts her friends off. Well, it's a princess that doesn't have any friends, including she doesn't even have the friendship of her own sister at this point. But it's always Meghan, always the projection, always trying to say that Meghan is this, that, and the other thing. And in actuality, if you look at Meghan, like I said, when she comes outside, she dispels all of the lies that they spew from over there across the pond. Meghan is not the monster that they try to make her out to be. And we can see it with our own eyes that they are lying. That's why I love when Meghan comes out. She should come out more often because it just absolutely blows away all of the lies that they have built up prior to her coming out. Harry, too, same thing. They try to paint them into these monsters, and in actuality, they are just the kind, sweet people who are trying to be happy and live their lives. And they blow that farce away that they have built up, pretending like they're something different than what they are. I'm just saying. And then this person below said this: what people don't understand is that Black people teach their children to call older friends and relatives auntie and uncle. No calling grown people by their first names. Exactly. Exactly. I have so many. Well, when I was growing up, I had so many aunties and uncles that was not my blood aunties and uncles. They were my mother's first cousins, but we all called them auntie, and they all called my mom auntie. That is the way we grew up. That is just a tradition. That is just something that's a part of Black American culture. And so this is nothing unusual for Lily and Archie to be calling Serena Auntie Serena, and Katie Auntie Katie, and her other friends the same thing. This is nothing unusual in a Black American culture. It's not. And Lord only knows, not only we call people auntie and uncles and cousin, like I said, we call people our play cousins too. They have no blood kin to us, but we're so close, we're so tight, we're more than friends. We call each other play cousins. We do. That is another tradition in the Black American culture. Just a little insight. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And guess who's going to the Pope's funeral? We kind of talked about this and touched on it in my was it my last one? I think it was my last podcast, and how Rebecca English was already talking about how William probably is going to go, and just trying to use the Pope's death as a means of PR. But isn't that typical, that family? It's always about them. Always. They'll make anything about them. And now they're making the Pope's funeral about William. And this fake, fake narrative that he is some kind of global statesman. No, he is just this mediocre dude that happened to come out of a certain birth canal, and here he is trying to live up to the job that he was born into and doing a miserable job at it. That's who William is. I'm just saying. But it said, I'm going to put it up. It says Prince William to attend funeral of Pope Francis. He's going to be wandering around there wondering what's going on, tell you the truth. Because if he's anything like he was the last time he was on the world stage, it was embarrassing to say the least. And this particular squatty below said this: the self-appointed statesman needs some good the self-appointed statesman needs some good publicity as his brother and sister-in-law, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, continues to overshadow his lazy, incompetent arse. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? Self-appointed statesman. I mean, it's no lies being told, no lies being detected on that particular statement, because he actually instructed his people to tell the news media that he is a global statesman now. I cannot believe that. I heard that. I just thought I would fall off of my chair, because being a global statesman is something other people think of you. And that is something they start to call you because of your action, how you're moving on the world stage. It's not something that you self appoint yourself to. And this is what he has done. And boy, is it ridiculous. But yes, he's going to Pope Francis' funeral. I kind of felt like Charles wouldn't go, but I thought maybe it would be Edward. But no, it's him. And okay. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. In this particular squad, he said this: well, William is going to the Pope's funeral, and they are already positioning it as a step in his plan to become a global statesman, making it about him. We just talked about that. And it said, the way the press coddles this man child and tell their readers that William not making a arse out of himself at a funeral is a big deal is astounding. Where is the lie? As long as he don't lick Donald Trump's boots or just fall over, it is going to be lauded as a success, because he managed to go there and come back. That right there is an achievement in these people's eyes, these roto rats. I'm telling you, all of these media types, that is a success. The flying monkeys, they absolutely love it. And I tell you, it says, and I tell you, William and his team are disgusting. It is, because they have made the Pope's funeral about them. But I don't see where the shock and the awe is in that, because we know that this is what they do. They make everything about them. It is all, the world is just designed to try to put stepping stones in their way so they can just step up and up and up. That's all they think about. How can I highlight myself? How can I showcase myself? It is about me. And this particular squad, it goes on to say, to use someone's funeral as your PR is nasty. It's nasty, it is that, but it is business as usual for Kensington and Buckingham Palace, to be honest. It's business as usual. No surprise here. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. You remember in my intro, I was talking about how all these taste tests, I don't understand why they keep having them. They work out to Meghan's advantage because they always choose her products because her products are really, really good. But still, who gets this kind of attention when they start a business? But I know it's good. Any attention, what do they say? Any PR is good PR. And so I guess maybe this is true. But it just seems like a little much to me. And the products have already sold out. Meghan, you need to get those things restocked because they're giving you all this free publicity. You need to take advantage of it. Get those things restocked. I'm just saying. But I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty said this: another news media planning a takedown turns into a win for Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. This time it's the Washington Post. After a blind test of 8 brands, Meghan's As Ever Raspberry Spread has been named the winner. Hashtag Meghan Sussex. Yes, she keeps on pulling out the wins. It's delicious. I cannot wait to get mine. It must be really, really delicious because, like I said, this is not the first time. The Telegraph did theirs. Meghan head, shoulders, knees, and toes, above the ones that they compared it to. And now this is the Washington Post. And my whole thing is, the Washington Post, don't you have better things to report on than Meghan's jam? It just seems so weird to me. But we all know that the editor of the Washington Post is British, and he's also one of those people who was in with Murdoch with all of that phone hacking. Yes, him, he's over there. And so we know he probably had it in for Meghan, but at the end of the day, the jam spoke volumes, and they had to admit that it was the best. So yes, this was the Washington Post, the distinguished. One of the most respected papers in the world is over here tasting Meghan's spread. That's all I can say. Meghan has these people in a chokehold. She does. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And let me tell you, it is so hard to read. So I'm just going to tell you what this particular squatty is saying. She's saying biatches will become believers, meaning that the people who hate on you will end up absolutely helping you. And they're talking about this taste test that Vanity Fair did with Meghan's cookies. Her shortbread cookies with with the flour sprinkles. Yes, those. I'm gonna put a picture of them up right here. They baked those, and then they invited in some food critics, and they all tasted it and just examined it and talked about the texture of the cookie, just absolutely did all of the bells and whistles when it comes to this cookie. And the end result was that it was a great cookie. Absolutely worth the price. One of the critics said that they would eat the whole plate of cookies. Yes. So Meghan's shortbread cookies passed the test and everybody loved them. Her products are grade A++. They act as if they are surprised. Nobody's I don't understand that. They act like Meghan was going to sell them crap. We squatties knew that it was going to be the highest of quality. Meghan doesn't play that way. But they all seem like they're so surprised because they have bought into the negativity that those folks have been selling across the pond. And that's what I said earlier. Meghan needs to come out more often, because when she comes out, the same with these products. They talked about them. Oh, they talked about them. And now that they're out, they cannot criticize them, because when they taste them, when they cook them according to the instructions, they all taste delicious. I love it. Yes. So not only did Washington Post, now here is Vanity Fair. And we all know the history of Vanity Fair. They wrote that hit piece, but yet and still, here they are trying to get some eyeballs and trying to get some clicks off of this, off of Megan's cookies. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And if you know Megan Kelly, you know that she has just absolutely warped into a living, breathing troll and a living, breathing Karen and an old ugly hag. She is. She done had so much plastic surgery that she's almost unrecognizable from when she was actually on Fox. You know, she used to have a show on the Fox network. And that right there should tell you everything you need to know about her. But I digress. She is big friends with Martin Brannon, aka Maria Joseph, aka Dan Wooten, and they be on each other's shows. And so you should know what kind of person she is. And she has done nothing but hate on Meghan ever since Meghan has married Harry. When Meghan's wedding and everything, she faked it because she was on national television. She was on NBC, and so she had to pretty much fake it. But she eventually got in trouble with her mouth, because you can't hide it too long. You can't keep the mask up. And her racism really started to show. So NBC had to get rid of her. And once they got rid of her, she absolutely just transformed into this full on, full blown troll. And she started to troll Meghan, because why? Because she hates Meghan got the prince. She hates that this woman who has African descent has this most desirable prince from Great Britain. She's not supposed to have that in her fevered mind, because she is a full on racist. So this is what she's doing. She is absolutely trolling Meghan. I don't know if it's so much her trolling or her showing her envy on full display, because she is envious. Let me tell you, you have to be this envious to go this far. These fevered minded women, I cannot believe it. And this woman has a whole husband, but we're going to talk about him a little later. But yeah, she has a whole husband. Evidently, her husband do not treat her in the same manner as Harry treats Meghan, and it makes her feel some kind of way. The demons really get stirred up. And she had this Maureen Callahan on, and we all know who Maureen Callahan is. That's that troll who write for the Daily Fail. And she is another bitter, jealous, envious, ugly old hag as well. And so they got together and doing a with love Meghan, because her name is Meghan too. I kid you not. And doing all the things that Meghan did in With Love Meghan. Now tell me that is not sick. Tell me that is not crazy. Tell me that's not fevered minded. Up, and it says Megyn Kelly's show. Tomorrow on Megyn Kelly's show, the premiere of With Love Meghan, with a visit from Meghan's longtime friend Maureen, who definitely knows so much about her. It will be fun and relatable. This woman is copying Meghan, because number one, she don't think Meghan deserves the life that she has. She don't think Meghan deserves the man that she has. She thinks that is strictly supposed to be for someone who looks like her. This is Meghan Kelly. So she is so jealous. She has decided to troll Meghan to the point where she is copying Meghan and got her little sick, fever-minded friend who writes for the Daily Fail, who does nothing but absolutely smear Meghan with her lies. I think the last article that Maureen Callahan wrote was about how Harry needs to come home without his wife and children. Just come home to Great Britain and stay 6 months, 4 or 6 months at a time. Y'all remember that? I think I talked about it on one of my podcasts, but this is who Maureen Callahan is and who she is having on her show. And the show is just a spoof of With Love Meghan, our Duchess. I mean, can it go any farther than that? Can you absolutely show how fevered minded and how jealous you are? I mean, it's ridiculous. And this particular squatter who posted it said this: see, these ugly white Karens just want Meghan's life. They hate her because deep down they want to be in her shoes. Meghan, you're a loser. Where's the lie? Where is it? And it's because they don't feel that Meghan deserves it. Harry should have chose somebody like them. It wouldn't have stirred the demons up so much if he had only gotten someone that looks like her. These women are crazy. And like I said, the Ranger syndrome needs to be studied. This ugly old hag, old broke down hag, and flying monkeys and all of these toadies and trolls and haters, they need to be studied because it has, I'm telling you, Harry, Mary, and Meghan broke something deep down inside of them. It did. And I'm telling you, it really needs to be studied. And they need to be on some kind of medication because it has gotten to be really sick that you would do this. I'm gonna put this up. Look at them. They're even doing the popcorn. You know, Meghan put the corn, that was on the cob and put it in the microwave and popcorn. They did that. They did that. I saw the clip. They repeated that particular segment that was in With Love Meghan. They even did that. And it wasn't like they were making fun or anything like that. They were literally going through everything that Meghan did and was enjoying it and talking and just really trying to simulate Meghan. Sick, sick, sick. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up because this particular squatty is talking about Meghan Kelly's husband. I don't know. Well, this is not even the word on the curb because Don Lemon said it on his show right here on these here YouTubes that Meghan Kelly's husband keeps looking at his husband and he wants it to stop because it's weird. Just trying to, I don't even know, trying. He full out outed her husband as one that might possibly be on the down low. I absolutely lie to you not. You can run back that footage on it's called the Don Lemon Show right here on these here YouTubes, and he busted her husband. And do you think Meghan Kelly said anything? No. She has been as quiet as a church mouse about that because usually, if something is not true, they would be yelling from high heaven, how dare you? How dare you? You lying on my husband. You doing this. No, Meghan ain't said nothing to Don Lemon. Don Lemon sit on his show and aired her completely out about her husband, and she has said nothing. What they say, Nathan. She has said Nathan about it. So I just love this for her. This particular squatter said, Don Lemon exposed this lady's husband for having sugar in his tank. Of course, she copes by bullying Duchess Meghan a mess. Exactly. They want Harry. They see how Harry treats Meghan, how he respects her, how he reveres her, how he takes care of her, how he protects her. And they lose their fevered mind about that. Because number one, they think she don't deserve it. And number two, they want it for themselves. I love it. I love it for them. All I can say is cry harder. Cry harder. To do something like this is so crazy and psycho. The next thing we'll know, they'll be walking around in in a dress like Meghan's wedding dress. I mean, these people are crazy. They are nuts. It needs to be studied. That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty posted about the Daily Fair. And you are not going to believe what the Daily Fair is actually putting up in. Well, I'm sure you will believe it because it is the Daily Fair. And they are totally and completely obsessed with Meghan. It is ridiculous to me what this particular so called news organization does. It's crazy. I'm going to put it up. It said this. This isn't a joke. This is a national newspaper. And this person went to the university, I think, to study journalism. Little did they know that at one point there will come a time where a woman of color would change everything and her irrelevance would reduce their job titles from journalist to troll. Yes, yes, yes. And let me tell you, let me put this up. This is what the Daily Fail is up to. This is why they are trolls, no better than trolls, really. Look at this. This is a legitimate article. It says the Duchess of Sussex, 43, was seen posing for a selfie with a New York-based fashion cameraman, Jake Rosenberg, placing both hands on his shoulder Saturday. Well, Jake Rosenberg is a longtime friend of Meghan who have photographed her through the years and was responsible for the photograph that Meghan put on her website for her launch of As Ever. Yes. So they're trying to indicate that something nefarious was going on between Meghan and Jake Rosenberg. They have been friends for years. I am going to put up a post and you will see what I'm talking about. But this is why the Daily Fail is no better than a run of the mill troll, the Ranger. Really, it is. And look, did they not do a poll? They did a poll. Look at this. It says, did Meghan stage the duck video? And want you to vote on it. I kid you not. It needs to be studied, y'all. It needs to be studied. Meghan broke something in these people. It is broken and it will never heal. I'm convinced of it. And look at this. This is part of the article. And look down there where they have it circled. It says, short clip was posted on a mother of three Instagram account and has since racked up more than 5 million views. They're talking about the ducks. It says, this is what they wrote. It says, Meghan, who was dressed in a elegant white sleeveless midi frock for the occasion, observed the animal waiting for its young in the middle of the road as she watched in visibly open mouthed that she was able to experience a special moment on Easter as hatched ducklings are symbols of spring and new life, and therefore strongly associated with the holiday. She captured the post Easter weekend surprise and added the message, wishing you a happy Easter full of love and surprise. And we all know they really, that the hardest part of what was written here is the fact that Meghan's little video that she posted on her Instagram got over 5 million views. That right there, that really hurts. That's like a punch in the stomach for the fail, because we all know they don't get that kind of engagement. They don't even get close to that kind of engagement. And it really hurts them, because I don't even think they really break a million. And I love it for them. And they're literally running a poll if this was staged or not. How pathetic. How sad. How typical troll behavior. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. This is a picture of Jake Rosenberg with Meghan. And Meghan knew Jake Rosenberg before she knew Harry, but yet and still, here the fail is trying to be a SHIT starer, or just basically trying to put misinformation out there, trying to somehow insinuate something nefarious between Jake and Meghan. And it is ridiculous, to say the least. And as you can see at the bottom, he clearly says that he is shooting for as ever. Yes, see where it says always a beautiful day shooting with Meghan at as ever official. Yes, he's working for her. And they have done, and this particular post, they have taken it every time they have been together through the years. Nothing new. Nothing new here to see. But we all know that Thea has to do something to sell those rags. So, of course, it would do what is the most lowest of the low and try to insinuate something and try to pretend like they don't know the truth. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this one up. And this particular squatty, well, this is a repost, and the original post said this. Now, this is a Easter stroll worth watching. And of course, it is the famous mother duck and all her ducklings that have been seen by over 5 million people. Every time I say that, I get giddy, because I know how much pain that causes on Fleet Street. I know how much pain and how people have to hold their stomach and are just crying and whinging about that over in Kensington Palace, and probably over at Buckingham Palace as well. So, yes, it gives me a little joy. I get a little joyous thinking about it, because they are horrible. But I digress. And then this particular swatty reposted it and said this. This Easter walk got more views than the royal family's Easter walk. And right there, that's the rub. That is why they hold in their stomachs. That is the reason why they are crying so hard. And that's the reason why all that nonsense is in the fail. But all we can say is this. Meghan reaches so many more people than the fail does. That little duck video made it to 5 million plus people. They see Meghan as this person. Well, see, they see Meghan as who she is. That's why I say this Instagram page was a stroke of genius on Meghan's part. Them coming out more, doing more, being seen more is everything, because it dispels all of the nonsense, all of the lies, all of the character assassination that these people across the pond do on a daily basis. That is the reason why they want Meghan and Harry to hide. That is the reason why they want them to be quiet. That's the reason why they don't want them to be on social media. It's because they want to take control of the narrative. As long as Harry and Meghan is quiet, they get to set the agenda. They get to set the narrative. And it is just not working anymore. When you have about what, I guess the Daily Fail, what, maybe 700,000 people, or am I over, estimating their reach, sees their paper, and I don't even think their physical paper, maybe online, they get about that. Look at Meghan. Meghan gets millions. And not just for this video, I mean, just about all her videos gets millions and millions and millions of views. And nobody from that family can absolutely compare to that. And not even the fail. How can you set the agenda when you can't even reach a million people? But they depend on the trolls to do that. And a lot of them do that. But at the end of the day, Meghan still wins because she has us. I'm just saying. But yes, look at that. I mean, this Easter walk beat their walk. I hope they're over there holding their stomachs. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it because I absolutely do not care. But this is just strictly to pass on information. And Richard Palmer, one of the flying monkeys from across the pond, posted this and said, one of Prince William's titles is Lord of the Isles. There's excitement off Scotland West Coast as he and Kate announced plans to spend their 14th wedding anniversary there. Well, all I can say to that is whoop-de-doo. I hope they have a good time. Okay. And look right down here. This particular squatty said this. Are they really excited though, Richard? Is there any evidence to substantiate this? No, it's no evidence. He made it up. Of course he did. He reached right in the sky and pulled it out. And that's what they do. That's what the flying monkeys do. They continue to lick the boots of that family and prop them up. I'm just saying. And my whole thing is, either way, who cares? All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And when I saw this, I had to include it in my podcast because it is so profound. And this particular squatty said this. It appears to many that William is to Harry what Camilla and Charles was to Diana. Dangerous. Deadbeat is on board with it all. What y'all think about that? I agree with it. I have said it time and time again. That's why I said, to me, it's not a big deal if they get the protection or not from over there. Because I would like for them to stay on U.S. soil and not ever to return to the UK. Do I understand Harry's point of view? I absolutely do. But Harry has been known to not be very clear on the treachery and the level of treachery that his family is willing to participate in when it comes to him. I'm just saying. And like this particular squatty said, deadbeat is on board with it all. I agree with that. Charles, yeah, I agree with that. Because he has not lifted a finger to protect his son in any kind of way, and then got in court and said that the death of Prince Harry would not be a major upset to the people of Great Britain. He said that about his own son. So, yeah, I think he's on board. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And Archwell celebrated Earth Day, and you can go on Sussex.com and click on it, and it talks about Earth Day. And it says Prince Harry and Meghan's Archwell Foundation celebrates Earth Day 2025. The Archwell team volunteered with LA Works and Los Angeles River State Parks partnership to help build and restore a native habitat. And you can, like I said, you can go on Sussex.com and read all about it. All right, y'all. I just saw this picture of Meghan. I have saw it. I have had it for a while, but I just wanted to share it today. Look at Meghan, cute as a button. And this particular squatty said this: our Duchess is proud to keep selling cookies. Girls with a dream becoming women with vision. Where is the lie? Yes, look at them. I wonder where those other little girls are today. Meghan, yes, out there selling cookies and still selling cookies for her own company as of today. Love it. All right, y'all, I want to put this up. And when I saw this, again, I wanted to add it to my podcast because it's absolutely true. Everybody expect Meghan not to have all of the emotions, not the full range of emotions that every human being has. Because those folks across the pond, every time she may be forceful in a response or anything like that, they want to call her a bully and label her a bully. Well, I had this conversation maybe 2 or 3 podcasts back that I don't have a problem with bullying the right people because I will serve up the same energy that you are serving to me. You dictate that. You set the pace. I'm just trying to catch up. Why is it that Meghan cannot have the full range of emotions just like everybody else? Why does she have to be labeled a bully? That's the reason I say everything that's coming from over there is nonsensical. Because those people be jerking sinks out of the wall and threatening butlers and choking butlers, but yet and still Meghan saying something forcefully, which we have no evidence of her even doing that, because what they presented as evidence, those emails, were the most polite emails that I have ever read from someone who is actually supposedly your boss. Because that's why I said, who is in charge over there? The courtiers or the royal family? Because it seems like the royal family have to walk on their tippy toes in order to tip around those courtiers. But I digress. It is the strangest thing I have ever heard of. And so, yes, it's fine to be a bully as long as you're bullying the right person. I'm just saying. And this particular squatty said this: Meghan has the right to be happy or mad, either way, her world. Exactly. She has a right to have all the range of emotions that everybody else have. And sometimes I'm sure she gets pissed off, especially with her staff. That's her business. And they have the option to absolutely resign. Why does she have to be lovely to everybody who is not lovely to her? Stop it. And this particular sign said, being too nice invites a lot of disrespect. Where's the lie? If you agree with that, hit me up in the comments, because am I out here by myself? Because this is ridiculous to me. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.